For quadrilaterals, we've talked about these for a year. You want to remember quadrilaterals means four lines, The actual meaning, quad, four, lateral lines. So we're talking about four-sided figures. We have a few figures that we want to remember. And instead of just memorizing pictures of how they look when they're flat, you have to memorize the definitions now. We've talked about this. A trapezoid, I like to remember. This is what I picture in my head. It looks like the roof of Pizza Hut. So I remember the Z in pizza and the Z in trapezoid. But then when I look at that, that helps me remember the definition. It has one set of parallel sides. Do you see the sides that are parallel? Here and here. The other two would intersect if they would keep on going. Now we have other four-sided figures that we need to remember by definition. A rhombus shines bright like a rhombus. That's what we remember. It kind of looks like a star. So with a rhombus, we have a four-sided figure. The sides are equal in length. Let's see if I can draw that. Equal in length and parallel. Okay, so we've got the four sides. We've got four equal sides. And we've got the two sets of parallel sides. Okay, or it's, how do we say that? It's opposite sides are parallel. So when you look at the opposite sides, we look here and we look here. The opposite sides are parallel. So we've got our trapezoid, we have our rhombus. Those are specific types of quadrilaterals. This one I can usually remember, a parallelogram. A parallelogram has two sets of parallel sides, and its opposite sides are equal in length. So it's got parallel, and its opposite sides are equal in length. So parallel, they're equal in length. And here's what they add here. The opposite corners, the opposite angles are equal. Okay, so we've got two sets of parallel sides. The opposite sides are equal in length. And then the opposite angles are equal. By definition, that's what we're trying to look at. You can get these like pictures in your head, but you really do have to know the definitions. Then our last couple, I want to make sure I have, yeah. We're going to do a rectangle. Okay, this one's getting specific, where we have two sets of parallel sides. Okay, just like this one. Two sets of parallel sides. Its opposite sides are equal. And if you look, now we're talking about their angles, it has four right angles. So when we look at that, we're like, So a rectangle can also be a parallelogram. And you have to kind of look at like what fits in. So a rectangle is a parallelogram, a rectangle is a quadrilateral. Parallelograms and rectangles are both quadrilaterals. So we've got these four. And then we have our most specific type of quadrilateral. And I'm hoping that shows up at the bottom. Oof, barely. I'm going to stick it up at the top. Number 5. This one's a square. This one's the most specific yet. You know how to picture this one in your brain. You have two sets of parallel sides. All sides are equal length. All sides are equal length. And it has four right angles. Those are our definitions of our quadrilaterals. Now this gets crazy too, because you're like, oh, we're just talking about polygons. Polygons are closed figures that have 3 or more sides. So all of our quadrilaterals can also be called polygons. Geometry is vocabulary. We're going to continue to practice these. All right, we're going to talk about some other polygons in a minute, but then I'm going to give you a rotation specifically on quadrilaterals.